The basis of life. Biochemistry. Despite the uncertainties concerning the origin of life, it is well known that all living organisms share important characteristics. All things are composed primarily of elements carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus. Traces of magnesium, iodine, iron, calcium, and other minerals are also components of protoplasm, the substance of life. The unit of an element is the atom. The unit of a compound is the molecule. Atoms are joined by chemical bonds to form compounds. Water, carbon dioxide, and glucose are some familiar compounds. The chemical compounds in living matter can be divided into inorganic and organic compounds. Inorganic compounds are compounds that do not contain the element carbon, including salts and hydrochloric acid. Organic compounds are made by living systems and contain carbon. They include carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acid. In addition, various processes are required to maintain an organism's internal environment and regulate the basic activities of life. In this chapter and beyond, you will see how heredity, cellular organization and growth, development, reproduction, regulation, and homeostasis control the acquisition, conversion, and some of the uses of energy by a living organism. The cell. The cell is the fundamental unit of all living things. Every function in biology involves a process that occurs within cells, or at the interface between cells. Therefore, to understand biology, you need to appreciate the structure and function of different parts of the cell. A. Cell theory. The cell was not discovered or studied in detail until the development of the microscope in the 17th century. Since then, much more has been learned, and a unifying theory known as the cell theory has been proposed. The cell theory may be summarized as follows. All living things are composed of cells. The cell is the basic function unit of life. Cells arise only from pre-existing cells. Cells carry genetic information in the form of DNA. The genetic material is passed from parent cell to daughter cell. B. Studying the cell. Various tools are used to study the cell and its structure. 1. Microscopy. One of the many tools used by scientists to study cells is a microscope. Magnification is the increase in the apparent size of an object. Resolution is the differentiation of two closely situated objects. Compound light microscope. A compound light microscope uses two lenses or lens systems to magnify an object. The total magnification is the product of the magnification of the eyepiece and the magnification of the objective. The diaphragm of a magnification system controls the amount of light passing through the specimen. The coarse adjustment knob roughly focuses the image. The fine adjustment knob sharply focuses the image. In general, light microscopy is used to observe non-living specimens. Light microscopy requires contrast between cells and cell structures. Such contrast is obtained through staining techniques which result in cell death. B. Phase contrast microscopy. A phase contrast microscopy is a special type of light microscope that permits the study of living cells. Differences in refractive index are used to produce contrast between cellular structures. This technique does not kill the specimen. Electron microscopy. An electron microscope uses a beam of electrons to allow a 1,000-fold higher magnification than it is possible with light microscopy. Unfortunately, examination of living specimen is not possible because of the preparations necessary for electron microscopy. Tissues must be fixed and sectioned and sometimes stained with solutions of heavy metals. Technique number 2. Centrifugation. Differential centrifugation can be used to separate cells or mixtures of cells without destroying them in the process. Spinning fragmented cells at high speeds in the centrifuge will cause their components to sediment at different levels in the test tube on the basis of their respective densities. Denser parts, such as the nuclei, endoplasmic reticulum, and mitochondria, will sink to the bottom,